Your feelings are powerful tools. Use them wisely, and they will propel you toward greatness. Control your feelings today, and you control your future tomorrow. The first step toward success is mastering your feelings, for they will either lift you or limit you. Emotions can be powerful. They can drive us to take action, or they can hold us back. How many times have you let fear, frustration, or self-doubt decide your choices? Maybe you've avoided taking that important step because you didn't feel ready. Or perhaps you've let negativity keep you from pursuing your goals. You don't have to let your emotions dictate your path. The key is learning how to manage them, understand where they come from, and use them in your favor. In this video, we'll explore how you can take control of your feelings and shape your response to challenges. We'll talk about how to stay focused when distractions are everywhere, how to build mental toughness in the face of obstacles, and how to become your own biggest supporter. More than that, we'll show you that the power to change the course of your life is already within you. It starts by mastering how you react to your emotions. So if you're ready to stop letting feelings control your decisions and instead learn how to take charge, stick around. This is the moment to begin taking control of your life and your future. Let's get started. Number 1, the importance of planning. They can inspire us to achieve great things or pull us into frustration and doubt. The difference lies in whether you let your emotions control you or you decide to take charge. And one of the most effective ways to take control is by having a plan. You might not immediately connect planning with emotions, but trust me, the link is undeniable. Without a plan, life becomes unpredictable. Imagine you're on a ship without a clear destination. The waves and winds decide where you go. Sometimes you'll end up somewhere calm, but more often you'll find yourself tossed around in a storm. Planning gives you direction. It keeps you grounded, even when emotions start to surge. When life gets overwhelming, having a clear plan can be the difference between reacting impulsively and responding wisely. Planning helps you handle 3 major challenges that emotions often bring. First, it reduces uncertainty. When you don't know what's next, anxiety has room to grow. A well-thought-out plan removes that uncertainty. It gives you something solid to hold on to. Second, it sharpens your focus. When you're focused on what matters, distractions, frustrations, and unproductive emotions lose their grip on you. Third, it builds confidence. Every time you follow through on a plan and see results, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you're capable. And that confidence spills over into every area of your life. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you wake up one morning without a plan. You scroll through your phone for a while, lounge around, and before you know it, the day's half gone. Then the guilt creeps in. You feel frustrated with yourself, maybe even question your ability to be productive. That frustration turns into a spiral of negative emotion. Now imagine a different scenario. The night before, you take 5 minutes to jot down 3 things you want to accomplish. When you wake up, you already know your priorities. You tackle them one by one, and by the end of the day, you feel accomplished. That's the power of planning. It shifts your emotions from chaos to clarity. But planning isn't just about productivity. It's about preparation. Life will throw curveballs. That's a guarantee. When unexpected challenges come your way, a plan helps you adapt without panicking. Think about your financial goals. Maybe you're saving for something important, and then an unexpected expense pops up. Without a plan, that could feel overwhelming. But if you've planned your budget, you know where you can adjust. Instead of reacting with fear, you respond with calm and confidence. Planning gives you that kind of emotional resilience. Planning also plays a huge role in daily habits. It's not just for big picture goals like careers or finances. How are you planning to take care of your health? How are you planning to nurture your relationships? What's your plan for keeping your mindset strong? When you're intentional about your time and energy, you're saying, this is what matters to me, and this is how I'm going to make it happen. Without that intention, it's easy to fall into patterns of procrastination or distraction. But with a plan, you set yourself up for success, not just in your actions, but in how you feel about yourself. Now, I understand the hesitation that might come with planning. Maybe you've tried before and didn't stick to it. Maybe you're worried about failing again. Let me tell you this. Planning isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Each plan you make sends a message to yourself that you care about your future, that you believe in your ability to make things better. That belief alone is powerful. Life will always have its ups and downs, but your feelings don't have to control the journey. Planning is your tool for staying steady, no matter the storm. When you feel overwhelmed, go back to your plan. When you're unsure, go back to your plan. And when you achieve your goals, you'll know it was your plan that made it possible. Take control of your feelings by taking control of your plans. Start small. Write down one goal for tomorrow, just one. Then take the first step. You'll find that planning doesn't just shape your future, it shapes your emotions, your mindset, and your confidence. And those are the keys to living a life you're proud of. So today, make the decision to plan. Because when you plan your life, you're not leaving anything to chance. You're taking charge. Number 2, staying focused in a distracted world. Everywhere we turn, something demands our attention. Notifications, emails, news, social media, and the constant noise of modern life. The problem isn't just about getting things done. It's about what distractions do to us emotionally. They leave us scattered, frustrated, and feeling like we're always falling behind. But the good news is, you can change that. You can reclaim your focus, and with it, a greater sense of control over your emotions and your life. Staying focused begins with understanding one simple truth. Focus is not automatic. It's a choice. And in today's world, it's a choice you have to make over and over again. Why? Because distractions don't wait for your permission to show up. They just do. The question is whether you'll allow them to pull you off course, or if you'll choose to stay centered on what really matters. To do that, the first step is clarity. You can't focus on everything, and trying to will only leave you overwhelmed. So you've got to ask yourself, what's most important to me right now? Not next year or even next month. Right now. Clarity about your priorities is the foundation of focus. When you know what truly matters, it becomes easier to block out what doesn't. And here's the key. Write those priorities down. Don't leave them floating around in your head, where distractions can easily crowd them out. Putting them on paper makes them real. It's a small act, but it has a big impact. Once you have clarity, the next step is creating boundaries. Distractions thrive when there are no limits. If you're constantly available to everyone and everything, your focus will never stand a chance. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to yourself. For example, set specific times to check your phone or email instead of letting them interrupt you whenever they want. Create a dedicated space for work or deep thinking, a space where distractions aren't allowed. These boundaries aren't about restriction. They're about protection. You're protecting your time, your energy, and your emotional well-being. Now let's talk about the power of routines. A strong routine is like a safety net for your focus. It helps you create habits that support your priorities without requiring constant willpower. For instance, if you know mornings are your most productive time, plan your most important tasks then. Reserve that time for the work that truly moves you forward, and stick to it. Routines eliminate decision fatigue. They allow you to focus on doing, not on figuring out what to do. But even with the best routines, distractions will still try to sneak in. And this is where discipline comes in. Discipline isn't about being rigid or harsh with yourself. It's about being intentional. It's reminding yourself that every time you give in to a distraction, you're choosing to delay your progress. That's a powerful thought, isn't it? Every notification you check, every unnecessary task you take on, it all adds up. The question to ask yourself is this worth my time? Does it align with my goals? If the answer is no, let it go. Discipline isn't about denying yourself. It's about valuing your focus enough to protect it. Another important part of staying focused is learning to manage your energy. Focus isn't just a mental state. It's tied to your physical and emotional well-being. If you're tired, stressed, or burned out, staying focused feels impossible. That's why taking care of yourself is non-negotiable. Get enough sleep, eat nourishing foods, move your body. These aren't luxuries, they're essentials. When you're well rested and energized, distractions lose their grip on you. Finally, let's address something that often goes overlooked: your environment. Your surroundings have a huge impact on your ability to focus. If your workspace is cluttered, your mind will feel cluttered too. Take the time to create an environment that supports your focus. That might mean organizing your desk, turning off unnecessary notifications, or even working in a quieter place. The goal is to make your environment work for you, not against you. So how does all of this tie back to controlling your feelings? When you stay focused, you feel in control. You feel productive, purposeful, and capable. Distractions, on the other hand, leave you feeling scattered, frustrated, and overwhelmed. The choice is yours. Will you let the world dictate your attention, or will you take charge of it? Here's what I want you to do today. Start small. Pick one area of your life where distractions tend to take over. Maybe it's your work, your personal goals, or even your relationships. Then apply one strategy we've talked about: clarity, boundaries, routines, discipline, energy management, or improving your environment. Just one. See how it changes your ability to focus. Once you've mastered that, move on to another area. Over time, you'll find that focus becomes your natural state, and with it, a greater sense of control over your emotions and your life. In this distracted world, staying focused is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. But the rewards are worth it: greater clarity, productivity, and peace of mind. So today, make the decision to take back your focus, because when you control your attention, you control your emotions. And when you control your emotions, you control your life. Number 3, building mental toughness. Mental toughness. Life is full of challenges. Some days, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But it's in those moments that mental toughness becomes your greatest asset. It's not about ignoring your emotions or pretending that everything's fine when it's not. It's about developing the strength to face adversity, adapt, and keep moving forward, no matter what. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And it starts with recognizing that your mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But just like physical training, building mental toughness requires effort, consistency, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. So let's dive into how you can strengthen your mental resilience and take control of your feelings. The first step to building mental toughness is taking responsibility. Responsibility is about owning your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. It's easy to blame circumstances or other people when things don't go your way, but that mindset only makes you feel powerless. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means recognizing that how you respond to a situation is always within your control. When you shift your focus from what's happening around you to how you're handling it, you immediately regain a sense of power. Next, you need to develop self-awareness. You can't control what you're not aware of. Self-awareness is about understanding your triggers, what pushes your buttons and why. It's about noticing the thoughts and beliefs that drive your emotions. When you become aware of these patterns, you can start to change them. For instance, if you notice that criticism makes you defensive, ask yourself why. Are you interpreting it as a personal attack? Or is there an opportunity to learn and grow? Self-awareness isn't about judging yourself. It's about observing yourself with curiosity and honesty. Another key to mental toughness is learning to embrace discomfort. Let's face it, growth is uncomfortable. Whether it's taking on a new challenge, facing a fear, or navigating uncertainty, discomfort is part of the process. But here's the thing: avoiding discomfort doesn't protect you. It limits you. Every time you step into discomfort, you're training your mind to handle it better. You're proving to yourself that you can endure, adapt, and overcome. And the more you do it, the less intimidating discomfort becomes. A crucial part of building mental toughness is mastering your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself matters. If your self-talk is filled with doubt, negativity, or defeat, it's going to be much harder to stay resilient. Instead, practice speaking to yourself the way you'd encourage a close friend. Remind yourself of your strengths, your progress, and your ability to figure things out. Positive self-talk isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to focus on what empowers you rather than what holds you back. Resilience also requires building a strong foundation of habits that support your mental health. These habits are the small, consistent actions that strengthen your mind over time. For example, journaling helps you process your emotions and gain clarity. Meditation trains your mind to stay present and calm under pressure. Reading or learning something new keeps your mind sharp and engaged. These habits may seem simple, but their impact is profound. They're the mental equivalent of regular exercise. They keep you strong and ready for whatever comes your way. Another critical aspect of mental toughness is learning to reframe challenges as opportunities. When something doesn't go as planned, it's easy to get stuck in frustration or disappointment. But every challenge contains a lesson, a chance to grow, and an opportunity to become better. The key is to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" That single question can transform how you experience setbacks. It turns obstacles into stepping stones and failures into valuable lessons. Lastly, let's talk about perseverance. Mental toughness isn't just about handling one tough moment. It's about staying the course, even when the road gets long and difficult. Perseverance is built one step at a time. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about focusing on progress, not perfection. And it's about remembering why you started in the first place. When you hold on to your why, you create a sense of purpose that keeps you moving forward, no matter how tough things get. Building mental toughness doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and it's okay to stumble along the way. The important thing is to keep going. Every time you take responsibility, embrace discomfort, or push through a challenge, you're strengthening your resilience. And over time, you'll notice something amazing. The things that used to overwhelm you no longer have the same power. You become stronger, more focused, and more in control of your emotions. So here's my challenge for you. Choose one area of your life where you'd like to build more mental toughness. Maybe it's dealing with stress, staying calm in difficult conversations, or pushing through a goal that feels out of reach. Whatever it is, commit to taking one step forward today. Whether it's practicing self-awareness, reframing a challenge, or simply showing up and doing your best, every step counts. Remember, mental toughness isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about rising every time you fall and growing stronger with every step you take. And when you build mental toughness, you don't just control your feelings. You create a mindset that allows you to handle anything life throws your way. So start today. Build that strength. Because when you take control of your mind, you take control of your life. Number 4, the ripple effect of solo achievements. But the truth is, every small win you achieve on your own sends out waves of impact that reach farther than you might ever realize. The first thing to understand is that solo achievements aren't about selfishness or isolation. They're about personal responsibility. When you take the initiative to achieve something on your own, you're taking responsibility for your growth, your future, and your happiness. And that's a powerful thing. Because when you rely on yourself to make progress, you build trust in your abilities. You prove to yourself that you're capable of taking on challenges and seeing them through. That trust is the foundation for confidence. And confidence is contagious. Think about this: when you achieve something through your own effort, people notice. They see the discipline, dedication, and perseverance it took for you to succeed. And whether you realize it or not, your actions inspire others. Maybe it's a coworker who decides to tackle their own project because they saw you do it. Or a friend who starts chasing their goals because you showed them it's possible. Your solo achievements send a message. If I can do it, so can you. But the ripple effect goes beyond inspiration. Solo achievements also elevate the standard for what's possible. When you raise the bar for yourself, you encourage others to do the same. This isn't about competition. It's about showing what's achievable. When you strive for excellence, you challenge the people around you to rise to their potential too. It's like lighting a fire that spreads. Your effort fuels a collective sense of possibility. Solo achievements also have a profound impact on relationships. When you take the time to work on yourself, whether it's improving your skills, reaching a personal goal, or overcoming a challenge, you become a stronger, more grounded version of yourself. And that benefits everyone around you. Why? Because you're bringing your best self to the table. You're more present, more supportive, and more capable of contributing to the people in your life. For example, let's say you work hard to improve your communication skills. That's a solo achievement. You're putting in the time and effort to grow in that area. But the impact doesn't stop with you. Your improved communication strengthens your relationships, helps you navigate conflicts more effectively, and creates a more positive environment for everyone you interact with. That's the ripple effect in action. Another way solo achievements create ripples is through problem solving. When you take on a challenge and find a solution, you don't just solve that problem for yourself. You create a framework that others can learn from. Maybe you figure out a better way to manage your time, or develop a strategy for staying motivated. When you share what you've learned, you're contributing to the success of others. Your solo achievement becomes a shared resource. But let's not overlook the emotional impact of solo achievements. Every time you achieve something on your own, you experience a sense of pride and fulfillment that's hard to replicate. That feeling creates momentum. It builds your resilience and motivates you to tackle the next challenge. And here's the thing about momentum. It's not just personal. When people see you moving forward, they feel encouraged to do the same. Your progress creates a sense of possibility for others, reminding them that growth is always within reach. Now, I know solo achievements can feel daunting at times. It's not easy to step out on your own and take on a challenge, but that's exactly what makes them so impactful. The effort, the struggles, and the victories are all part of what makes the achievement meaningful. And every time you succeed, you're not just proving something to yourself. You're showing others what's possible when you put in the work. So how do you maximize the ripple effect of your solo achievements? First, start with intention. Ask yourself, what's one goal I can pursue that aligns with my values and passions? When your achievements are meaningful to you, their impact becomes even greater. Second, don't be afraid to share your journey. Talk about the challenges you faced, the lessons you learned, and the growth you experienced along the way. Sharing your story isn't about bragging. It's about showing others that success is possible, even in the face of adversity. Third, look for ways to give back. If your achievement has taught you something valuable, find a way to pass that knowledge on. Maybe you mentor someone, share a resource, or simply offer encouragement to someone who's starting their own journey. Lastly, celebrate your wins, big and small. When you acknowledge your efforts and take pride in your achievements, you're reinforcing a mindset of growth and possibility. And that energy doesn't just stay with you, it radiates outward, inspiring others to celebrate their own progress. So today, I want to challenge you to take on something that's just for you. It doesn't have to be a monumental goal. Maybe it's something as simple as learning a new skill, sticking to a routine, or completing a task you've been putting off. Whatever it is, commit to it fully. Achieve it not because you have to, but because you want to. And as you do, remember this: your solo achievements aren't just about you. They're about the impact you create, the inspiration you spark, the standards you raise, and the lives you touch along the way. So go out there and achieve, create those ripples. Because when you take control of your journey, you inspire others to do the same. And that's how we change the world, one achievement at a time. Number 5, self-education and skill development. Self-education and skill development. In a world that's constantly changing, relying on what you already know isn't enough. To grow, to stay relevant, and to truly thrive, you need to make a commitment to lifelong learning. The beauty of this commitment is that it doesn't just improve your knowledge, it changes the way you feel about yourself and your ability to navigate the world. Self-education starts with a decision. The decision to take charge of your own growth. No one else is responsible for your success. Not your parents, not your employer, not the government. It's on you. That might sound daunting, but it's actually liberating. It means you have the power to choose what you learn, how you learn, and how far you'll go. You're in the driver's seat, and that's an incredibly empowering place to be. Let's begin with why self-education matters. The world we live in doesn't stand still. Industries evolve, technologies advance, and new opportunities emerge every day. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. But here's the good news. The resources for self-education are more abundant and accessible than ever. Books, online courses, podcasts, mentorships, the options are endless. And the more you learn, the more equipped you become to face challenges, solve problems, and seize opportunities. But self-education isn't just about external success. It's about internal growth. When you learn something new, you're not just adding to your knowledge base. You're building confidence. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of growth, no matter your starting point. That confidence spills over into every area of your life. You start to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as chances to learn and improve. And that shift in mindset is priceless. Now let's talk about skill development. Skills are the practical tools that allow you to turn knowledge into action. And here's the truth. Skills are what set you apart. You could have all the knowledge in the world, but without the skills to apply it, that knowledge won't take you far. Whether it's learning a new language, mastering a piece of software, improving your communication, or honing your leadership abilities, skills are what turn potential into reality. The question is, how do you decide what to learn and what skills to develop. The answer lies in alignment. What are your goals? What are your passions? What areas of your life or career would benefit from growth? When you align your learning with your values and objectives, the process becomes far more meaningful. Instead of feeling like a chore, it becomes a journey of discovery and purpose. Once you've identified what to learn, the next step is to take action. This is where many people get stuck. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect resource, or the perfect conditions to start. But here's the truth. There's no perfect time. Start where you are with what you have. If it's a book, read a chapter. If it's an online course, watch the first lesson. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about taking consistent steps forward. And let's not forget the importance of practice. Skill development doesn't happen overnight. It requires repetition, effort, and patience. Think about learning to play an instrument or mastering a sport. The early stages are often frustrating, but with practice you improve. The same is true for any skill. Embrace the process. Celebrate the small wins along the way. Each step forward is a sign that you're growing. Another crucial aspect of self-education is curiosity. Curiosity keeps learning exciting. It drives you to ask questions, explore new ideas, and seek out knowledge in unexpected places. Cultivate your curiosity by staying open-minded and engaged. Read widely. Talk to people with different perspectives. Experiment with new hobbies or interests. The more curious you are, the more opportunities for growth you'll discover. Now let's talk about the emotional side of self-education. Learning isn't always easy. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and even failure. But these moments are part of the journey. They're opportunities to build resilience, to push through challenges, and to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you think. Each time you overcome a hurdle, you're not just learning something new, you're becoming someone new. And here's something truly inspiring. The impact of self-education extends far beyond yourself. When you commit to learning and growing, you inspire others to do the same. Whether it's your family, your coworkers, or your community, your actions set an example. They show that growth is possible at any stage of life. They remind others that it's never too late to learn, to improve, and to achieve. So how do you get started? Begin by identifying one area of your life where you'd like to grow. Maybe it's a skill that would advance your career, a subject you've always been curious about, or a personal challenge you want to overcome. Set a specific goal and break it down into manageable steps. Commit to those steps, no matter how small they may seem. Make learning a daily habit. It doesn't have to be hours of study. Even 15 minutes a day can add up to significant progress over time. Use the resources available to you: books, online platforms, mentors, or even free materials. And most importantly, stay consistent. The key to self-education isn't how fast you learn. It's that you keep going. As you grow, remember to reflect on your progress. Take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come and the changes you've experienced. Growth isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about the journey and the person you become along the way. In the end, self-education and skill development are about taking control of your life. They're about recognizing that you have the power to shape your future, no matter where you start. And when you embrace that power, you don't just control your feelings, you transform them. You replace doubt with confidence, fear with curiosity, and frustration with achievement. So today, make a choice. Choose to learn, choose to grow. Because when you invest in yourself, the returns are limitless. And those returns don't just benefit you, they create ripples that inspire and empower everyone around you. Start today. Your future self will thank you. Number 6, embracing accountability to yourself. Accountability is often thought of as something external, meeting deadlines, keeping promises to others, or living up to expectations. But the truth is, the most powerful form of accountability is internal. It's the promises you make and keep to yourself. When you embrace accountability to yourself, you take full ownership of your life. You're no longer a passive observer, blaming circumstances or other people for where you are. Instead, you recognize that your actions, choices, and mindset shape your future. And while that level of responsibility can feel overwhelming at times, it's also incredibly empowering. Because when you hold yourself accountable, you gain the ability to create meaningful change in your life. Accountability to yourself begins with honesty. You can't hold yourself accountable if you're not willing to face the truth about where you are. This doesn't mean being harsh or critical. It means being real. Take a step back and evaluate your habits, decisions, and behaviors? Are they aligned with your goals and values? If not, what's holding you back? Honesty isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. And clarity is the first step toward growth. Once you've established where you are, the next step is setting clear expectations for yourself. Ambiguity is the enemy of accountability. If your goals are vague, it's easy to make excuses or let things slide. Instead, be specific. If you want to improve your health, define what that means. Is it exercising 3 times a week? Cooking more meals at home? If you want to grow in your career, outline the steps you'll take, whether it's acquiring a new skill or networking with colleagues. Clear expectations create a roadmap for action. Now here's where many people struggle: following through. It's easy to set goals or make plans, but sticking to them requires discipline. And discipline starts with recognizing the connection between your actions and your results. Every choice you make, big or small, either moves you closer to your goals or further away from them. When you understand this, you realize that accountability isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. One of the most effective ways to stay accountable is by tracking your progress. Write things down. Keep a journal, use a planner, or create a simple checklist. Tracking allows you to see the effort you're putting in and the results you're achieving. It's a tangible reminder that your actions matter. And when you look back and see how far you've come, it builds momentum and motivates you to keep going. Accountability to yourself also means embracing the discomfort that comes with growth. Let's be honest, change isn't easy. It's tempting to stick to what's familiar, even when it's not serving you. But growth happens when you push past that discomfort. It's in those moments of struggle that you build resilience, discipline, and confidence. So instead of avoiding challenges, lean into them. Remind yourself that every step you take outside your comfort zone is a step toward becoming the person you want to be. Now let's address something important: setbacks. No matter how committed you are, there will be times when you fall short. Maybe you skip a workout, miss a deadline, or give in to an old habit. These moments can feel like failures, but they're actually opportunities. Setbacks are a chance to learn, adjust, and recommit. The key is not to dwell on what went wrong, but to focus on what you'll do differently, moving forward. Accountability isn't about never falling, it's about always getting back up. Another powerful tool for self-accountability is reflection. At the end of each day or week, take a moment to evaluate your progress. What did you do well? What could you improve? Reflection allows you to celebrate your wins, identify patterns, and stay connected to your goals. It's a way of checking in with yourself and making sure you're staying on track. But accountability isn't just about action. It's also about mindset. It's about shifting from a reactive approach to a proactive one. Instead of waiting for life to happen to you, take the initiative to shape your own path. This means setting boundaries, prioritizing what matters, and making decisions that align with your values. When you adopt a proactive mindset, you stop making excuses and start creating opportunities. One of the most rewarding aspects of self-accountability is the sense of integrity it brings. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build trust in your abilities. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who takes responsibility, someone who can be relied upon. That trust is the foundation for confidence and self-respect. And when you respect yourself, it's easier to demand the same respect from others. Now let's talk about the ripple effect of self-accountability. When you hold yourself accountable, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions set a standard, showing that it's possible to take ownership of your life and create meaningful change. Whether it's your family, your friends, or your colleagues, your commitment to accountability creates a positive influence that extends far beyond yourself. So how do you start embracing accountability to yourself? Begin by identifying one area of your life where you want to improve. It could be your health, your relationships, your career, or your personal growth. Set a specific goal and outline the steps you'll take to achieve it. Write it down. Track your progress. Reflect regularly, and most importantly, stay consistent. Remember, accountability to yourself isn't about being perfect. It's about being committed. It's about showing up for yourself, even on the tough days. It's about recognizing that every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you want to create. So today, make a promise to yourself. Commit to one action that will move you closer to your goals. Then follow through. Because when you embrace accountability, you don't just take control of your feelings, you take control of your future. And there's nothing more powerful than that. Number 7, balancing patience and urgency. It may sound contradictory after all. Patience asks us to wait, while urgency pushes us to act. But the truth is, success in life often depends on finding the harmony between these two forces. To start, let's define what patience and urgency mean in this context. Patience is the ability to endure, to stay committed over time, even when the results aren't immediate. It's what keeps you grounded and focused on the long-term vision. Urgency, on the other hand, is the energy and drive to take action today. It's what moves you forward, ensuring you don't waste time or miss opportunities. Neither is more important than the other. They're two sides of the same coin. The first step to balancing patience and urgency is understanding their roles in the journey to success. Patience is about trusting the process. It's about recognizing that meaningful progress takes time. You plant the seeds today, but you can't expect them to bloom overnight. Whether you're building a career, improving a skill, or working on a personal goal, patience allows you to stay committed when the results are slow to come. Urgency, on the other hand, keeps you from becoming complacent. It reminds you that time is precious and that every moment counts. When you act with urgency, you're making the most of the present. You're taking deliberate steps forward, refusing to let procrastination or hesitation hold you back. Without urgency, even the best plans can stall. So how do you bring these two forces together? The answer lies in clarity. When you have a clear vision of your goals, it becomes easier to balance the patience required to achieve them with the urgency to take action. Start by asking yourself, what do I want to accomplish? Why does it matter? When you're connected to your why, you can stay focused on the bigger picture without losing sight of the actions you need to take right now. Another key to balancing patience and urgency is setting realistic expectations. Many people give up too soon because they expect instant results. But success is rarely linear. There will be highs and lows, progress and setbacks. Patience allows you to navigate those ups and downs without losing faith. At the same time, urgency pushes you to keep moving, even when the path isn't clear. Let's talk about an example. Imagine you're learning a new skill. Let's say you're learning to play the guitar. Patience reminds you that mastery won't happen overnight. It takes time to develop muscle memory, learn chords, and perfect your technique. But urgency ensures you pick up the guitar every day and practice. Without patience, you'd quit at the first sign of struggle. Without urgency, you'd never start. Together, they create a rhythm of steady progress. One of the biggest challenges in balancing patience and urgency is managing emotions. It's easy to feel frustrated when progress is slow or overwhelmed, when there's a lot to do. That's where emotional control comes in. When you feel frustration creeping in, remind yourself that growth takes time. When you feel overwhelmed, focus on taking the next small step. Balancing patience and urgency isn't just about action. It's about mindset. Let's address the role of discipline. Discipline is what ties patience and urgency together. It's the commitment to stick to your plan, even when motivation wanes. Discipline ensures that you act with urgency today while trusting that patience will bring the results tomorrow. It's not about waiting passively or rushing blindly. It's about taking consistent, intentional steps forward. Another aspect to consider is timing. Patience doesn't mean waiting forever, and urgency doesn't mean rushing into decisions. Sometimes you need to act quickly to seize an opportunity. Other times you need to step back and let things unfold naturally. The key is knowing when to push and when to pause. This requires self-awareness and a willingness to adjust your approach based on the situation. Now let's talk about the rewards of balancing patience and urgency. When you master this balance, you experience the best of both worlds. You feel the satisfaction of taking action today while knowing you're building something meaningful for the future. You avoid the stress of constant rushing and the stagnation of endless waiting. Instead, you move through life with purpose and momentum. Balancing patience and urgency also strengthens your relationships. Patience allows you to be understanding and supportive, giving others the space they need to grow. Urgency ensures that you communicate openly and address issues before they become bigger problems. Together, they create a foundation for healthy, productive interactions. So how can you start balancing patience and urgency in your life? Begin by setting clear, actionable goals. Break those goals into smaller steps and prioritize them based on their importance and timeline. Use urgency to tackle what needs to be done today, and use patience to stay committed to the bigger picture. Practice mindfulness to stay present. Patience can be difficult when you're constantly focused on the future, and urgency can feel overwhelming when you're stuck in the past. By staying present, you can approach each moment with clarity and intention. Finally, celebrate your progress. Recognize the effort you're putting in and the steps you've taken. Even small victories deserve acknowledgement. Celebrating your wins reinforces the balance between patience and urgency. It reminds you that your actions matter, and that the journey is worth it. In the end, balancing patience and urgency is about mastering your emotions and taking control of your life. It's about knowing when to wait and when to act, when to push forward and when to trust the process. And when you find that balance, you don't just achieve your goals, you grow into the person you were meant to be. So take a moment today to reflect on your own journey. Are you acting with urgency where it's needed? Are you practicing patience where it's required? Find the balance, embrace the process, and watch as your efforts transform not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Number 8. Avoiding the comparison trap. The comparison trap. In a world where we're constantly exposed to other people's achievements, lifestyles, and highlights, it's easy to measure ourselves against them. But comparisons, when unchecked, can steal your joy, cloud your focus, and distract you from your own journey. To avoid the comparison trap, you must first understand its roots. Comparison often starts with a desire to gauge our progress or understand where we stand. It's natural to look at others for reference, but the danger lies in attaching your worth to how you measure up. Social media, for example, amplifies this tendency. You see someone's carefully curated success, and without realizing it, you start questioning your own value. The problem is, comparisons are rarely fair. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes struggles to someone else's highlight reel. You don't see the sacrifices, failures, or challenges they faced to get where they are. And even if you did, their journey isn't yours. Your path is unique, shaped by your experiences, goals, and values. The first step to avoiding the comparison trap is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking at what others are doing, ask yourself, what do I want? What does success mean to me? When you're clear about your own goals, it becomes easier to stay focused on your journey without being distracted by someone else's. Remember, success isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. What works for someone else might not work for you, and that's okay. Life isn't a race or a competition. It's a personal journey of growth, learning, and fulfillment. When you measure yourself against your own progress instead of someone else's, you gain a sense of control and direction. Let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to comparison. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you cultivate a mindset of abundance. Take a moment each day to reflect on your blessings, big or small. Maybe it's your health, your relationships, or the progress you've made in a specific area. Gratitude shifts your attention away from what others have and reminds you of all the good in your life. Another important tool is self-awareness. Notice when you start comparing yourself to others. Is it triggered by certain environments, situations, or people? For instance, do you feel inadequate after scrolling through social media or attending events where people share their achievements? Recognizing these triggers allows you to take proactive steps to protect your mental and emotional well-being. One way to counteract comparison is to celebrate others without diminishing yourself. Instead of feeling threatened by someone else's success, use it as inspiration. Remind yourself that their achievements don't take away from your potential. If anything, their success proves what's possible. Support and uplift others, knowing that their journey doesn't define yours. It's also crucial to set boundaries, especially in the digital age. If social media or certain interactions make you feel inadequate, take a step back. Curate your environment to support your growth and positivity. Follow people who inspire and uplift you, not those who trigger self-doubt or envy. Remember, you have the power to choose what you consume and how it affects you. Let's address another key point: self-compassion. When you find yourself slipping into comparison, don't be too hard on yourself. It's a natural tendency, but it doesn't have to control you. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling inadequate, acknowledge the feeling and redirect your focus. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Now let's talk about the value of effort over outcomes. When you focus solely on results, it's easy to compare yourself to others who seem to be ahead. But the truth is, The effort you put in is just as important, if not more so, than the outcome. Celebrate your hard work, dedication, and growth. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Avoiding the comparison trap also means embracing your individuality. You are not meant to be like anyone else. Your strengths, talents, and experiences are unique to you. Instead of trying to fit into someone else's mold, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you embrace your uniqueness, you stop seeing others as competition and start seeing them as fellow travelers on their own journeys. Let's not forget the importance of mindfulness. Stay present in the moment. Comparison often pulls you into thoughts of what if or why not me, distracting you from the here and now. Mindfulness helps you appreciate where you are and what you're doing without the interference of external judgments. Lastly, remember that everyone has their struggles, even if they don't show them. The person you admire for their success might be dealing with challenges you can't see. Life isn't perfect for anyone, no matter how it appears from the outside. Keeping this perspective helps you approach others with empathy rather than envy. So how can you start avoiding the comparison trap today? Begin by focusing on your own journey. Set goals that are meaningful to you and celebrate every step forward. Practice gratitude and self-compassion. Curate your environment to support your growth, and remind yourself that success is not a competition. When you let go of comparisons, you free yourself to pursue your own path with clarity and purpose. You stop wasting energy on what others are doing and start investing it in your own growth. And when you control your feelings in this way, you gain the confidence and freedom to live a life that's authentically yours. Take a step today, just one small step, to shift your focus inward. Celebrate who you are and the progress you've made, because your journey is yours alone, and it's worth every bit of your time, effort, and pride. Number 9, overcoming the fear of starting. It's the fear of starting. You know what I'm talking about? That hesitation, that little voice in your head that whispers, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? It's a powerful fear, but here's the truth. Starting is the only way forward. The fear of starting often stems from uncertainty. When you don't know exactly how things will turn out, it can feel safer to stay where you are. But think about it. Staying in the same place doesn't eliminate the risk. It guarantees that nothing will change. Growth, progress, and success all require taking that first step, even when the outcome isn't clear. One of the most common reasons people fear starting is the pressure of perfection. We think we need to have it all figured out before we begin, but perfection is a myth. Nobody starts at the top. Every expert was once a beginner. Every success story started with a single, imperfect step. The key is to let go of the need to be perfect and focus on making progress instead. Another reason people hesitate is the fear of failure. But here's something to remember. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Every failure teaches you something valuable. It shows you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. Think of failure as feedback, not a final verdict. When you embrace this mindset, the fear of failure loses its power. Let's address another challenge. The fear of judgment. Worrying about what others might think can be paralyzing. But the truth is, most people are too focused on their own lives to judge yours. And even if they do, their opinions don't define you. What matters is how you feel about the choices you're making. Are they aligned with your goals and values? If the answer is yes, then keep going. The best way to overcome the fear of starting is to take action. No matter how small, action breaks the cycle of overthinking. It gives you momentum and shows you that starting isn't as scary as it seems. Maybe it's a phone call, a conversation, or writing down your ideas. Whatever it is, start where you are with what you have. One step at a time. That's how big goals are achieved. When you focus on the enormity of the whole journey, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But when you break it down into smaller, manageable steps, it becomes doable. Start small, celebrate each milestone, and watch as those small wins build your confidence and motivation. Another strategy for overcoming the fear of starting is preparation. Preparation doesn't mean waiting until you're 100% ready. It means taking the time to equip yourself with the basics. Learn a little about the path you're about to take. Get advice from people who've been there. Gather the tools you need. Preparation gives you a sense of control. and helps reduce the fear of the unknown. Let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves. Sometimes fear of starting comes from limiting beliefs. You might think, I'm not smart enough, or I don't have the resources. These beliefs aren't facts, they're stories. And the good news is, you have the power to rewrite them. Replace I can't with I'm learning how. Replace I'm not ready with I'm taking the first step. The way you talk to yourself matters. Visualization is another powerful tool. Take a moment to imagine what success looks and feels like. Picture yourself achieving your goal, feeling proud and fulfilled. Now imagine looking back and realizing that the hardest part was just starting. Visualization helps shift your focus from fear to possibility. Let's not forget the importance of support. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and your potential. Whether it's friends, family, or mentors, having a support system can make all the difference. Share your goals with them. Let them encourage you and hold you accountable. You don't have to face your fears alone. Now let's address time. Many people fear starting because they think it's too late. But here's the truth. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Time will pass whether you start or not. A year from now, you'll either be glad you took the first step or wishing you had. Don't let the fear of time stop you from creating the future you want. Overcoming the fear of starting also requires self-compassion. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to have doubts. What's not okay is letting those feelings stop you from trying. Acknowledge your fear, but don't let it dictate your actions. Remind yourself that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action despite it. So how do you begin? Start by getting clear on your why. Why does this goal matter to you? What impact will it have on your life? When your why is strong, it becomes easier to face the fear of starting. Then take that first small step. It doesn't have to be perfect or grand. It just has to be something. Remember, starting is the bridge between dreaming and doing. It's the moment when you stop imagining what could be and begin creating it. And while the first step might feel like the hardest, it's also the most important. Because once you start, you're no longer stuck. You're in motion. Take a moment right now to think about something you've been putting off. What's one small action you can take today to move closer to that goal? Commit to doing it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Because the life you want is waiting for you on the other side of fear. And the only way to get there is to start. You have everything you need within you to begin. So take a deep breath, silence the doubts, and take that step. It's time to start building the life you deserve. Number 10. Being your own biggest supporter. Life will throw challenges your way. People may doubt you, circumstances might test you, and even your own mind can sometimes become your greatest critic. But no matter what happens, you have the power to stand firmly in your own corner. Supporting yourself isn't about arrogance or denying your flaws. It's about believing in your worth, recognizing your strengths, and having faith in your ability to grow and overcome. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? Being your own biggest supporter is a choice, a habit you can build to create a foundation of confidence and resilience. To start, you must become aware of how you talk to yourself. We all have an internal dialogue running through our minds, but too often it's filled with doubt, fear, or criticism. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Does any of that sound familiar? The first step in becoming your own supporter is to silence that negative voice. Replace it with one that's kind, encouraging, and realistic. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you bring to the table. Think about the skills, experiences, and qualities that make you unique. When you acknowledge your strengths, you remind yourself that you have what it takes to handle the challenges ahead. One powerful way to support yourself is by celebrating your achievements, no matter how small. Did you complete a task that was challenging? Celebrate it. Did you make progress on a goal? Even if it was just a little, acknowledge it. Recognizing your wins reinforces your belief in your abilities and keeps you motivated to move forward. Another critical aspect of self-support is setting boundaries. Being your own biggest supporter means protecting your energy, time, and well-being. You don't have to say yes to everything or everyone. Learn to prioritize what matters to you and say no to what doesn't align with your values or goals. Let's talk about self-care. Supporting yourself isn't just about cheering yourself on. It's about taking care of your mind, body, and spirit. Are you giving yourself the rest you need? Are you nourishing your body with good food and movement? Are you making time for the things that bring you joy and peace. Self-care is a powerful way to show yourself that you matter. Being your own biggest supporter also means allowing yourself to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and that includes you. Instead of beating yourself up when you stumble, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a close friend. Mistakes are part of the process, not the end of it. One of the most important ways to support yourself is by setting clear and realistic goals. When you know what you're working toward, it's easier to stay focused and motivated. Break those goals into manageable steps and tackle them one at a time. Supporting yourself means giving yourself direction and purpose. Let's talk about external validation. While it feels great to have others acknowledge your efforts, you can't rely on it as your sole source of motivation. External validation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But when you learn to validate yourself, you build a sense of inner strength that doesn't waver with other people's opinions. Part of being your own biggest supporter is surrounding yourself with positivity. That includes the people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the environments you choose. Seek out relationships and spaces that uplift and inspire you. Distance yourself from negativity or anything that diminishes your sense of worth. Visualization can be a powerful tool here. Picture yourself achieving your goals. Imagine the confidence, pride, and joy you'll feel when you get there. Visualization isn't just a motivational tool. It's a reminder of your potential and your ability to create the life you want. Let's not forget the importance of persistence. Supporting yourself means staying committed even when things get tough. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when progress feels slow, or when the finish line seems far away. On those days, remind yourself why you started. Reconnect with your why and keep going. It's also important to remember that being your own supporter doesn't mean doing it all alone. It's okay to ask for help when you need it. Seeking support from others, whether it's advice, encouragement, or a listening ear, is a sign of strength, not weakness. So how can you start being your own biggest supporter today? Begin with gratitude. Take a moment to appreciate yourself for everything you've done and everything you're working toward. Write it down if you need to. Make a list of your strengths, achievements, and the qualities you admire about yourself. Next, commit to speaking kindly to yourself. When you catch yourself falling into negative self-talk, stop and reframe it. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," say, "I have everything I need to grow and improve." Finally, take action. Support yourself by taking one small step toward your goals. Whether it's making a plan, reaching out for guidance, or simply starting, action builds momentum and reinforces your belief in yourself. Being your own biggest supporter doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a habit you build through consistency and self-awareness. But when you commit to it, you create a foundation of confidence and resilience that will carry you through life's challenges. You are your greatest ally, your most valuable cheerleader. Stand by yourself, believe in your worth, and take control of your story. Because when you learn to support yourself, you unlock a strength that no obstacle can diminish. The world is waiting for the best version of you. Start by being the one who believes in that version the most.